and we are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 96, where we discuss our weekly dose of hot takes, discuss recent K-pop news and events, and give you the state of the nation. So in the hot takes with Harold, you know what hot takes with Harold is. What's up, man? How you doing?
This week we got naughty.
My God, what?
But the weekly hot take is music show wins have become irrelevant. Boom.
Oh man, that's a spicy take, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So music
right.
show wins have become irrelevant. Hum.
Okay, that's
gotta-
an interesting take, right?
I have some stuff to say about this, and I think it's gonna bleed into how I view K-pop in general and
All right, then
where
start
it's
us off,
headed.
bro. Show them what you got.
Because I completely agree.
Really? Okay.
I think music show-ins are losing the relevancy they had 20 years ago compared to where they were back then, and compared to now. It's completely. And one evidence I want to point to that is when it airs, right? Because
When the show airs.
right, because they used to be, they used to be a part of like the first part of the primetime block, meaning prime time as in like this is their most popular, most viewed time block, where they can put a show into. It was like, I remember like Music Core was like 5 p.m. on Saturday, like 5:30 or something like that on Saturdays, and like Inkigayo was like right before the popular like Sunday shows and whatnot. And now they're all around like 3:30 p.m., 3 p.m. ish, which to me is TV broadcasting systems going, hey, you know, they're not as important as they once were. They deserve a lesser spot in terms of their scheduling. And I think that just points to one reason how music show have become relevancy with the general public.
Irrelevant with the general
Irrelevant
public.
with
Yes.
the general public.
And I make that distinguisher at the end with general public, because they still hold a lot of relevancy for core fans, like fandoms. You know?
So
Okay.
it's a demonstration of something else, not necessarily general public.
I would say
Attention.
it's become irrelevant in terms of the more general scope of Korean popular culture. However, if you talk about just the idol K-pop culture, I think it still has some sort of relevancy that is still important.
I think it's diminished even on a K-pop capacity.
Really?
too.
Okay.
I think that Warren's pointing, there's two different arguments here, right? Music shows and their relevancy. I agree that's gone down significantly. It seems like a lot of times music shows are now a type of thing that like it hurts an artist not to go on them, but even when they do go on, it doesn't benefit them all that much, but there's politics at play, right?
Right.
That's pretty much how it is these days. In terms of the wins though themselves, I think that the music show wins still maintain a lot of relevancy because the idols still care about them a lot. When groups pick up their first win still, they cry like babies. And honestly, I would cry too if I put in that much hustle to get to that point. They care about them. I will say though that more than ever, music show wins is a lot of luck and timing these days.
Yeah.
More than ever.
I think a big part of music show wins is that the meaning behind that has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, right, I'm talking about first generation idols, and even before then, getting a music show in meant your song is really good and your song is really popular with everybody. Now it means you have a very dedicated fandom.
Fandom
Okay.
power. Yep.
Yeah.
That's I think where it kind of shifted. Like I would say earlier in the 2010s completely.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a general shift over the last 2 decades or so, and it's again that goes back to what I'm saying, right? In a general perspective about general society, it's lost a bit of relevancy, yes. But there is maybe diminished, but still a level of relevancy with the Korean, K-pop idol culture.
What about
What do
you,
you think,
Anita? What do you feel?
I feel
Why
like
not
I
feel?
kind of agree where the sheer number of music shows too, because there've been additions, right? It kind of, to me, in this day and age, I feel like music shows are kind of just additional content nowadays, especially on YouTube, where you see the live stages for international fans. I need to specify it's additional content that you get free access to, right? And you get to see a different outfit or a different performance, depending on the show they go on. And I think it's promotion for the artist to a certain extent overseas, and fandom power, right? Like we mentioned before, because the people that really get to vote for the music show wins are the fans, and they dedicate that time to make sure they win. So I feel like they are relevant still in a certain extent outside of Korea, I want to say, because they do provide more content for people that want to see this artist online.
Well, you're talking about the relevancy of the shows themselves, right? Not the wins.
Yes, the show themselves. Yeah, for the wins, it's just fandom power, to be honest, because I feel like, to be honest, it's fandom power and also maybe importance, because I feel like some fans, like we mentioned a couple weeks ago, they might not really go for the music show wins, but they really show their numbers in album sales, or I don't know, going to concerts or trying to have a world tour. I don't know. I feel like they show it in very different ways, but music shows wins have kind of indicated like, oh, this fandom is huge, especially if you can get all kills, and triple crowns. I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, I feel that shows that there's a dedicated fan base for you.
I feel, though, that music shows will always maintain a certain level of relevancy because it's been a rite of passage for all K-pop, right? Like,
yeah,
it's one of the few cultural, historical things that we still got. Every group has struggled a bit until they get that first win, and getting that first win is very significant for everyone involved. I'm talking the idols, their company, the producers, everyone who has to do with them, right? It's a sign that you've, like we always say, like once you start winning music shows regularly, it means you've made it, right?
You're doing well now. Yes,
you're doing really well. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like because of that, and because the idols themselves clearly still care a lot about this, right? I think that they will always remain somewhat relevant. Although I do agree that it's probably diminished because of how much the significance of the shows have diminished.
I actually disagree.
Really?
I'm going to go further and say they're going to diminish. They're not going to plateau in terms of diminishment. And diminishment, that's not a word. I'm going to go further and say they're going to keep falling. And then eventually we're going to start seeing some of the lesser music shows go away. Like the show or show champion. I think it's going to eventually dissolve. And one day I think maybe we're not going to have Music Core or Inkigayo. And I really think that because these companies are learning to rely on them less and less. In terms of the broadcasting networks, they're giving less and less and less of an F about these shows. If you listen to the musical quality, I'm talking about like the acoustics coming out of these shows compared to where they were 10 years ago, dude, they're spending so little money. Mm-hmm. And then you go listen to something that's coming out of Sketchbook with you here. Dude, budgeting, please. Like it's very clear. It's very clear that it's around because it's a tradition.
Right.
But I mean, like outdated traditions, man. How long are they going to go for? Like.
No, I get that. But I still feel like you're arguing for the shows and not the meaning of the awards.
I mean, there's not going to be any awards.
No, I get that,
if there's no shows.
But
right.
It is. I still think, like, I know people talk about sales numbers and stuff because they're in the millions and they're big numbers, right?
Right.
But to talk about music show wins, I still think is a humongous thing that we talk about quite often, right? I think it's one of those things that, yeah, people sell albums and stuff, right? Only if you think about album sales, only recently have numbers gotten big, right? Before it wasn't even that big. You got to think of like Sonyoshide's run. They weren't selling massive amounts of albums back in the day.
No.
What they Man, I'm arguing against myself now because now we can look at these sales numbers. Damn it, you know what I'm saying, right? Because like music shows was one of the few metrics we had back in the day to show relevancy, right?
But
like how many did you win?
Right, but it's slowly becoming a metric that means nothing because there are better metrics to show the fandom power. There are definitely better metrics of showing relevancy with the general public. It's what of course. When my if Rocket Punch was to win an award, dude, I will cry tears of joy. Like, my goodness. But at the same time, like,
it doesn't mean as much now than it used to.
Right, like, think about back in the day.
Also, people don't show up on all the music shows anymore. Like, I'm not saying that there's good wins and bad wins because a win is a win, but we always talk about how, what show is it? Show Champion is where you pick up your first win because not that many people show up on it. Right, the one on Tuesday.
Right.
So there's even levels too.
I mean, the one on
shows.
Wednesday. Yeah.
The cable shows are the show and the show champion. Those two are the ones that are like even less of a relevance. Dude, my mom doesn't know what the show is, but she knows what Inkigayo is.
I still feel like though a win is a win. Like maybe it's just me because I like the idea of a music show because you have to think. Like, yeah, it's a business and they're here to make money, but at least having these music shows means they can win something straight up, right?
So it's like
other than the end of the year
signifier
stuff.
of something, yeah.
Right.
At least there's like mini competitions happening, right? Because if we don't have, I know we have award shows at the end of the year, but they happen once a year, right? And they're generally going to the big dogs, right? But at least these music shows, we have like a weekly like, oh, you won something, you know, like that's why I like them still. Because I feel that these, if we don't have them, then what are idols just? They're just trying to sell albums at the end of the day, then, right?
I mean, music isn't a sport, you know.
But I like it when it's a sport. It's a competition.
It shouldn't be.
I don't want to view it as a competition though. Music this is art. This is popular art. This is pop art. Like you know, like.
I gotta turn on the
same
light.
time.
Keep going.
Yeah, I was wondering why you're such in the dark. I was so confused. Another thing is. I can talk about this again when Doug returns, is the inflation logic. And I'll talk about that in a second. When Doug is back in 3, 2, 1, he's back. I want to talk about inflation here, right? Because let's talk about the American quarter. 100 years ago, dude, a single quarter got you like 3 packs of gum. Mm-hmm. What does a quarter get you now? Nothing. So I'm thinking about it that way. There are more awards in circulation, therefore the single value of an award goes down.
But in terms of Rocket Punch, 0 times anything is still 0, sir. So sorry. Inflation or not.
Okay, you can't pull the Rocket Punch argument on everything.
I'm sorry.
No, and like yes, something is better than nothing. But at the same time, it's becoming a situation where the richer get rich and the poorer get poorer, and like, you know, it mirrors our economy in so many ways. Like, look at EXO. Do they have like 120, 30-ish wins? Like, and like some of these smaller groups, they ain't got nothing.
I'll still die on the hill though that as long as they're around and as long as the idols themselves still care, they're relevant. That's the hill.
I think the moment that big players start to not really care might be when I feel like, oh, this really signifies that it's over.
I agree with Anita. If let's say the big 4 companies, right, Big Hit, SM, YG, JYP, all pulled their artists from all music shows, then they would have no relevancy. But I think as long as the big players are still like winning them, they're relevant because the smaller companies are aspiring to get the success of those big companies, which entails winning these.
Call me crazy, but within 5 years, and I hope the podcast is still around in 5 years to talk about this, but in 5 years,
you don't think we're gonna have it?
I think this is gonna be gone. I think at most we'll have 2 shows around.
Okay.
5 years. It's not gonna happen in next year, but in general over the next 5 years, it'll happen. Mark my word.
Let me reset something real quick because you've been lagging a little.
Okay.
1 second. Oh, and now we're not laggy. Okay, we're good now. So interesting take. Let us know what you think about music show wins, and also then a broader extension where this conversation kind of went into is the relevancy of music shows as a whole, right? So let us know what you guys think. But we're now on to news and events from last week. Woollim woes, Warren. Woollim woes.
Yes.
Look on my hat.
W.
Woes. I wore my woes hat today for this. So, all right. Woollim Entertainment CEO Lee has officially apologized for his behavior towards Infinite's Seungyu and Woohyun during a recent Instagram live. While the three clearly have a close relationship, fans were split on Lee's actions, with some feeling that he crossed the line and others stating that they are just very close. During the live stream, Lee was captured hitting Woohyun on the head. Looking at the camera, Woohyun said, "You all saw this, right? He hits me like this, hits me too much," in a joking manner, of course. Furthermore, when Seungyu commented that he could not go through with his Instagram live due to a microphone issue, the CEO said, "It's because you don't want to interact with the fans." Seungyu immediately defended himself, saying, "I interacted with them 3 hours yesterday." The CEO continued to make comments such as, "Your face is 80 kilograms, so stop it," and referred to them using mild profanity. When Woohyun told him, "Don't swear," CEO Lee fought back against their words, and the three carried on laughing. Seungyu commented that the CEO will probably, quote, "do a blanket kit out of regret tomorrow." So that's pretty much what happened. You could give us some context, sir.
So, obviously, if you guys haven't already known, I'm a Rocket Punch fan. Rocket Punch belongs in Woollim. And this happened actually 2 weeks ago. I think very big in the very early of July, and I heard about it. And it seemed like generally the fans were trying to keep quiet about it because they knew that it could explode into something larger, and we were quiet about it, but it exploded. So what are you gonna do? The context of this is Woohyun is in the military right now. He was out as a part of a vacation. And when that is going on, Doug, I don't know what you're doing with your hat. When that is going on, they are not able to make any. They are legally not able to do anything that gives them profit, which means no V lives. No V lives, Audi, you cannot do until you return from the military. Hence, Woohyun, who was like on break from the military service he was doing, was like, you know what, I want to interact with my fans. How do I do it? With my Instagram live. Except he was having technical issues. So he brings up Seungyu, and Seungyu's like, well, let me help you with that. And that was the context of what happened here. And they were just drinking. The three of them are hanging out. If you go back and watch the recordings, in the beginning, CEO Lee doesn't even know that the Instagram live is beginning. He's still like kind of drinking and like just having fun. You can kind of tell that his like camera mode is off. And if you look into it, the beginning part was mostly them going, can they hear us? What is going on? Is the mic turning on? Do I need to give app permissions? That kind of deal. And then later on, now, you know what, since it's working, let's talk with our fans for a bit. And that was the background behind this. Now, should a company's CEO be doing this on camera in public? No. No. They shouldn't. There's no argument there.
The optics are bad. Optics are
bad
very
optics. Like sure. Like, I guess you guys are like friends. Like I have a very I would like to think I have a very friendly relationship with my boss as well, but I'm not sure if like I would be comfortable if this was on camera for like our listeners to watch. You know, like,
plus you're intoxicated too.
Right, they were drunk as heck. Like, my goodness. And sure, a lot of this seems very aggressive, not nice, but at the same time, I know how Korean men drink. This is how everyone acts. Like, at the same time, this was on camera. This is in public. You shouldn't. No, you're like a public figure. Don't do that. Why would you do that? It's like, and it's, if you watch the video, it's very clear that they're joking around, but like, it's very easy to be like, it's like a difference between public and private matters that you should be always differentiating between.
I think it's completely fine that CEOs are chill with their artists, right? I think one thing that comes to mind is when JYP, he's really close to the GOD members, and Rain, because they basically lived in like a mountain house together for a while, right. In like a basement or something. So the struggle was real. They definitely hung out. They're cool. I think all that's fine.
One more thing is like, all the articles were saying that the CEO was hitting the members on their head. It was a slight tap on their caps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of this got blown out of proportion because it's hard to visually understand what happened when you're reading it in text. Because when you say he hit them, you're like, what does that mean?
Right.
That could mean
Right.
anything from oh, you're so stupid to like a big old punch, right? It could mean anything from there.
When I saw the initial articles, I thought he straight up punched the guy.
I thought he like smack him, to be
I know.
honest.
It was like physical abuse in the article.
Because in Korean movies, you see like the drunk older dude smack the younger guy. He's like, you idiot, right? You know what I mean?
Right,
Things like that. But it wasn't that. I do agree though. This was an oof because I feel that as a CEO of a company, whatever you do, because like number one, people probably didn't even know in the public who the CEO of Woollim what he looked like.
Right.
Let's be honest here.
Well,
He's probably
he was on Variety quite a bit.
Oh.
okay. Still though, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not the general public knows like what does the CEO of Woollim look like. It's not like he's the level of recognition like an Isuman or
Yeah.
like a Bang
Yeah,
PD
no.
has,
Yeah.
right? But now he's on the camera with them. Like what you do and what happens on this V Live or not V Live, this Instagram Live reflects the company and how people view
Oh,
Woollim
yeah.
as a whole.
Directly.
The investors, the people who do CFs with them, they're probably all looking at this like this ain't a good look, right?
Now,
I don't know. It's just a poo situation because honestly, I don't think the act of what any of they did was wrong, right? I think you could hang out, you could horse around with your friends. Like, if me and Warren were drinking out in public and like I wouldn't want a random camera to pop up without me being prepared for it, right?
right,
Like,
right.
And us just to show it to everyone. I don't think that'd be the best situation. I might say something, I might do something, I might get way too drunk and pass out and throw up or something. You know, it's not a good look. Similar in this situation.
If SojuTalk was drinking soju and talking, you wouldn't want that on camera.
I'm sure they would, but obviously
Well,
it would be in a controlled setting and we would control how it goes out, right?
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
This
Yeah.
was not controlled.
This is not controlled.
No, no, no.
Now I
planned,
don't
really.
think the action of what he did was wrong, but I think as the CEO he should know better. That's my overall take.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that big of an issue though, personally, but that's just me.
Personally, I want to believe this was a mistake.
Yeah.
I want to trust Lee Jung-yup, Mr. Lee, because Infinite went out of their way to re-sign their contract with this guy. That means there's a level of trust there. Now, if this influences the upcoming Rocket Punch comeback, I will
Not be happy.
I will not be happy.
All right,
Well,
let's
let's
move
move on
on
for
to the
now.
next topic. There wasn't any big second topic, so I just titled this Big Four News. So we're going to go through each of the Big Four companies and their news stories from the week. So Big Hit. According to industry insiders, Big Hit has plans to open a public exhibition space to showcase their artists BTS, TXT17, New SG Friend, etc. in the lower levels of their new building in Yongsan when they move in as early as December of 2020.
Wow.
Although nothing is confirmed, Big Hit is said to be planning to display stage outfits / stages, achievements, and sell merchandise there. I think that's cool.
That is
right?
dope.
It's
like-
pretty much like
yeah.
the former SM Town space in their lobby. I would assume so. Something like that.
It's like now if you are a person traveling to Korea because you're a K-pop fan,
It's a destination,
it's
right?
it's one of the museums you have to go to now.
My
I would
biggest
go, different.
my biggest qualm with a lot of the K-pop companies was other than SM because they did a great job. Like I bumped into like 2 or 3 SM pop-ups as well while I was there.
Right.
There's one at Dongdaemun Design Plaza. There's an SM pop-up. I feel like these companies, like I know it costs money to do that, but why don't you have more stores with your brand name? Because tourism is a big thing. A lot of tourism is driven by K-pop, right? I would say a good amount of it. If like JYP had like a first level store or a store around the corner from their building, fans would go in there and buy so much stuff. Now, I know some companies they sell their merch rights to other brands. So there's a couple stores that have like a bunch of companies like official goods, but I feel like if they do it in-house, there's opportunity to make so much money. I don't know.
I think because I know SM has like a cafe with
Yeah.
Right.
artist name ice creams and whatnot. And now that Big Hit is doing it, I'm thinking maybe it's like
The
it's-
trend?
it's like a lot of money to do that.
Maybe. Because
Yeah.
you know SM Town is closing in Seoul, right? So
Oh, is it?
yeah,
Oh, I had no
they're
clue.
closing that one.
Oh man.
I don't know.
Maybe it's not that profitable, you know, like.
But as a K-pop fan though, I would like the opportunity to buy merch because it's fun to do that.
Well, in this coronavirus era, you can buy merch online.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that.
Merch online for international fans is so expensive. But let's move on to SM.
Shipping, Jesus.
First one, Naver will reportedly invest 100 billion won, which is like 80 million USD, something around that, into SM Entertainment. If true, Naver will acquire a 12.6% stake in SM Entertainment, making them the second highest shareholder after Lee Soo-man himself.
Let me put this into scope a little bit. Imagine Facebook and Disney did a partnership.
Like, what?
That's pretty big.
Well, it doesn't have to be Disney, but like a major entertainment label.
Right.
The biggest we got in Korea is SM. The biggest in America is Disney. Imagine if Google invested a lot of money into Disney. That's what this essentially is. And there's a lot of implications that are going into here. It means that SM and Naver are now going to be buddies.
Right.
Now that means they've recognized competition. Now, I'm kind of making assumptions here, so take it with a little bit of grain of salt because I'm wearing my hat of conspiracy. But I think a lot of it comes down to the Weaver stuff that Big Hit is doing, right? Because I'm starting to see a pattern here where Big Hit is acquiring artists, acquiring companies, putting them on Weavers. As far as I heard, Weavers is doing pretty good. I've heard good stuff about the app. And if it's a horrible app, let me know in the comments. But from what I can see, a really solid business plan for Big Hit is start getting more artists involved in Weavers because it is a platform, and then eventually, Big Hit might get a monopoly. We don't want that. SM does not want that. They are the other major player. They want a part of the pie. They want to create a platform where they don't have to rely on their competitor. And that's where I think it makes a lot of sense for them to partnership with Naver. Now, I read articles where this financial analyst pulled out numbers between Naver lost BTS, so they're partnering with SM. I think that's a little too far. I don't know where those numbers came from. I would take that with a bit of grain of salt. And if you're angry about that, I think you have every right to do so. However, another implication this has for Korean people is Naver and how they handle information has always been a little shady. Now, I feel like if you start seeing SM artists trending a lot more in the search keywords in Naver, this might get a little shady, you know? Like, imagine if you're scrolling down Facebook and regardless of your tastes, you're seeing a lot more ads for Disney, you know? Just a little bit of
it's a little bit of a
situation,
conflict of interest, to be honest, right?
Not a really great situation in general, but in terms of K-pop, super exciting. It means that they essentially believe that K-pop as an intellectual property, as an IP, is strong enough where they can create platforms out of it, and it's going to work. And V-Live technically has. And they're saying, okay, we're going to see more of it. I know SM launched a community app a while back. I think it's called Listen, LYSN or something like that. It's a nice app. I was looking at it. It's very well built and very well designed. So as a guy who's working in the IT industry, this is kind of exciting.
All right, the other SM news was that on July 17th, the Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra / In Young Park revealed the MV for the orchestral version of Red Velvet's Red Flavor, aka Balgamat. Earlier in June, SM and the Seoul Philharmonic Orchestra revealed that they signed a partnership so that fans can expect this cover along with future ones in the future.
Nice.
And you checked it out, right?
Yes, I did. I saw it. I really like I don't remember the name of the boy, but somebody mentioned, but there's this boy featured in the music video that does like a like a dance choreography along with the music, and it kind of gave me honestly like tourism vibes because they go through different
It did.
Yeah, it did.
sceneries, right? So I feel like wow, this is very interesting, and I don't know, it sounded nice. I think the arrangement was pretty cool, and visually it was interesting how they included like certain scenes of the dancing and of the players. And I'm looking forward to more. I want to see what they do with more, I guess, different artists and also different arrangements.
As someone who played in an orchestra most of my childhood, that was so exciting to watch. And like the part where they like did a lot, there was a lot of different like accidentals in terms of like where the rap is supposed to be.
Yes.
You know how it goes like up and down in weird ways.
Yeah.
That part was so cool, and I was so interested in how they're gonna change the rap part, and they pulled it off completely. I think it was really cool. I think on YouTube there's a guy made a mashup, so that the vocals are playing on top of these orchestral arrangements. Man, it's dope. It's dope. It's great. We need more of this. I'm glad it's a series.
I'm happy for you.
Thank
sir.
you. We're so wholesome today, Douglas. It's great.
The store. So I looked it up. The store in Seoul. If you're going to Seoul and you want to buy some merch, there's a place. It's called With Drama, right? And I think that a lot of K-pop companies sell their merch, official merch, through this store. And there's multiple locations. There's one in Yongsan. There's one in Myeongdong. So I don't know. It's a weird thing because like it's like official merch. A lot of it's from like concerts and stuff, but they sell it and it's like official goods.
Oh, it's like an official reseller.
Yeah, but they buy it directly from the companies.
Right. Oh,
All right, that's where I bought my my Eyes One light stick. But all right, JYP now. Twice partners with SM Entertainment's Beyond Live to launch their first online concert, Twice World in a Day, on August 9th. Previously, SM artists including Super M, Wavy, NCT Dream, NCT 127, TVXQ, and Super Junior have held successful concerts on this platform.
Hey. This kind of adds to what I was saying earlier, right?
Yeah, it's... I don't know, we normally don't see this much interaction where JYP's like, we're going to partner with SM because they clearly got that Beyond Live thing and it's working and it's cool, right? Where they got multiple camera angles and it seems to be running smoothly for the fans. So it's a very interesting collab, I would say, or partnership.
It is.
I feel like the more we talk about SM, it's like they really got their business side down so like perfectly, right?
I know, like we talk about like, you know, back in the day we used to discuss the big three, YG, JYP, and SM. But SM has always been the clear like
monster. Yeah,
they're involved in many different industries, and like pretty well in those industries as well. Like the size and the overall like magnitude of their influence on the entertainment industry in general, compared to like how much people are working there, is kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. Finally, YG. This one's for you, Anita. YG has announced that Treasure will make their debut on August 7th. For reference, the survival program that they came from, YG Treasure Box, ended on January 18th, 2019. So it's been a while. It's been a while, right?
It's been a minute.
It's only been a year and a half.
It's been like 19 months, guys. You know.
You know what I bet's gonna happen?
What?
We're gonna see some kids in the teaser, and we're gonna be like, "Who's that kid?" And it turns out it's gonna be like one kid who was really young, like grew up over a year and a half.
Here's the thing with these Treasure kids. For a fan like me, as a casual who did not watch Treasure Box and only knows Bang Ye-dam, right?
Yeah.
I've been finding it hard to get myself hype. Because it feels like my feelings towards them is an extension of my feeling towards YG as a company, I would say. And I don't have any frame of reference. Like Blackpink, I'm like, I like Blackpink. I like doo-doo-doo-doo. It's cool. But like with Treasure, they're newcomers. And all I know about them is that they were on the show and they got delayed a ridiculous amount of time, right? It just doesn't feel great. Because I'm already coming in with, I wouldn't say a bias against them. I think that's too harsh. But it's like, I'm like, well, finally they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Anita,
I can
are you
see
like
that.
are you like excited or are you more like finally Jesus?
Are you like,
we're relieved?
Oh, it's I think it's more relieved than excitement because of the
See.
wait. And I feel like I think it happens like this because the show ended a while ago, right? And
Yeah.
to be honest, it didn't end in the best of ways because there were some controversies or some
and one kid left,
some
right?
yeah,
Right,
some things
yeah.
happened with like the lineup because as always YG was not super or said one thing in the beginning saying like, oh, this will be the number of people in the lineup and that's gonna be it, and then towards the end things changed and then the number of people included in the group grew, and that's good, but it wasn't what we expected as viewers of the show. So I don't know, it didn't have the best of endings in my opinion as a survival show. Plus having this wait, I don't think it's a good combination. So I
Also,
think
Their size. Like, they're a big group. YG
Yes,
normally does not
yes.
do big groups. I'm
this is
very
this
curious.
is gonna be interesting how they're managed and how it
Yeah.
works. But
How many people is
I
this?
feel like once the song gets released and there's more consistent content for them, I will be back on like they'll be back on my radar, I think, because I did really like their song during the show, and then the people were really talented. They're very young, but
Like, when you're beginning off a debut without excitement, but more so like, oh man, I thought it was never gonna happen, kind of emotions. That's like not
There's
off to
12
a-
members, Warren. 12.
12 members.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really interesting because I noticed that the newer groups have less and less and less members, but I guess they're going against the trends.
Yeah, internally specifically, right? Because YG's always been known for smaller numbers as a
they
whole.
No,
they
in
never be
general.
huge.
You think in general?
Like, look at ITZY, 5 people. Look at Tomorrow by Together. Is that like 5 kids, 6 kids? I
Yeah,
forget,
you
I'm
might be
sorry.
right with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the new trend with like 3.5 generation.
Here's the thing: the main competitor for them for male rookie of the year is Gravity, right?
Is it?
At this point,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
We'll have to
And
see
they're
what
kind
happens.
of bigger too, though. Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity did well based on last week. They were in the top 20 sales,
Yeah.
right? They were 20th, I believe. So
YG, you better.
another thing about YG is how you like that. They released a physical copy of it.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
It's
yes.
I thought it's a pre-release.
No, I know, but they like audibled after the fact that they're like, how you like that? We gonna release a physical version. I think it sold like 170,000 copies too, which is
my
pretty
God.
good.
wow.
So
Wow.
I'm probably going to buy the album, the one in September, if it ever comes out. I'm probably going to buy that one though.
I mean, at this point, it's got to, right? Like,
The other YG news was that they are currently planning to debut a Chinese girl group. The
What?
Chinese division of their company, known as Shining Entertainment, has started releasing teaser photos of group members on their Weibo?
Weibo.
I don't know.
Weibo.
wait,
Weibo page. The new group will be YG's 4th idol girl group and the first overseas.
interesting. I didn't
Right?
know they had a Chinese division.
Apparently they do.
Apparently, they do.
Yeah, Shining Entertainment. Let me make sure I'm right with this because I read this article and I didn't know if I could trust it. Entertainment. YG.
I mean, I guess debuting in China.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
no, it's it's all over the
confirmed?
place.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, like, look, there's a lot of money going on in China. I'm sure, like, they'll be able to make some good money there. But I mean,
It's just interesting how they keep. You know how they said they have these two groups, right? And then they also mentioned another Korean girl group either this year or next year, right?
it's kind of weird.
Kind of weird.
weird.
How about? I don't know. Let's secure the Blackpink throne first, guys. Come on. I know Treasure. We have to do it because we've been waiting on it. But like, let's secure Blackpink first. Come on. All right,
wait,
quick takes.
yeah.
Billboard will reportedly no longer count single-price music and merch bundles towards their charts in an attempt to curb what is known as bundling.
Okay.
This will impact the Billboard 200 and the Hot 100, so that's an album chart and the singles chart, and other charts where the tactic has been used by many artists to boost chart placement. Most notably for K-pop, a lot of people were talking about Super MM bundling, right?
Yeah.
Yay.
Fans can still opt in to add the album/singles to their merch order as a separate item for an additional cost. So basically, they want it to be separate now. They don't want it to be like you buy this T-shirt, you get a free album, and it counts towards the album sales. Additionally, Billboard will no longer allow sales of physical albums or singles that are bundled with digital downloads to be reported as digital sales. So they were like double dipping there. They were counting them as physicals and digitals.
Double dipping.
And it's not just Super M. So don't think we're like hating on them. A lot of American artists do it as well. I think Lady Gaga sold a thong that came with an album.
What?
I'm pretty sure that was a
Wow.
thing. Yeah. Warren's Googling it really quickly for that one.
It's real. I mean, I'm
It's
not going to
real.
click it and open it, but it's real.
It's real. So basically, Billboard's trying to get more legitimacy. They're like, if you want to buy the music and count it towards the chart, you should want to buy the music, right? So overall, that's what that is. Next, Monsta X has released rescheduled dates for their postponed US and Canada leg of the world tour.
What?
Okay.
14 dates were dropped in total and are set to take place in April through May of 2021. The original tour was scheduled for June to July of this year. I don't know if this might be a little bit too early based on the American numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we Americans, we don't like to stop. We just keep partying onwards, you know?
They should call their
Just like-
tour the vaccine or something. I don't know, that was a bad joke. Never mind.
I mean, look, I appreciate that they're optimistic, and I hope they're right. You know, I hope we're done with
But-
this by April or May. But I mean,
Yeah. Next one, RBW to
Oh.
debut 7-member girl group Purple Kiss, previously known as 365 Practice.
Interesting.
Included in the lineup are former Produce 48 contestants Nagoeun, I think that's how we say it, and Park Ji-eun. I remember Goeun, right? She's the one who competed with Yuri for main vocal all the time.
yeah, I was low key a Cohen stan.
She was
too.
good, yeah.
I know. Well,
I'm happy for her. And RBW, interesting move, right, guys?
also she looks
Yeah.
very different now, and it kind of
She does. The promo photos, right?
Oh man. Yeah.
So-
Man. Oh wow.
This next news broke like 10 minutes before we started recording. Somi has signed with Interscope Records.
Okay. Interesting.
The YG Black Label artist will be represented by Interscope and Universal Music Group worldwide and outside of Asia for those type of promotions. So when she has international promotions, she'll be going through Interscope Records, which is a massive company in the United States. Previously, Blackpink also signed with the label.
I think,
Okay.
weren't there a bunch of other YG companies? Artists that signed with Interscope. Let
Maybe.
me look
I'm
that
not completely
up.
sure. But overall, I'm excited for Somi because she's coming back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's a really good song because, I wasn't the biggest fan of Birthday. Not gonna lie.
Oh, Girls' Generation was also there.
Lastly,
Yeah.
on July 19th, SoC 3 achieved the 5th perfect all kill of 2020 with their debut song Beach Again. I think it's the other 4 songs to achieve perfect all kills in 2020 include Zico's Any Song, IU Give You My Heart, IU's 8 featuring Suga, and Blackpink's How You Like That. The music video for Beach Again will be dropping on the 25th.
I think another common translation of the title is Once Again This Beach or Summer Sea Again. Clearly, they couldn't pick one translation.
There's like 5 of them, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just look up SSA K3 and you'll find it. It's a nice song. It's a good
Yes.
song.
Yeah, and we'll be covering it next
We'll
week. But in
talk
terms
about
of
it next week.
comebacks and releases, Warren, hit us with them.
On July 20th, on Tuesday, Yukika coming back with her first full-length album. July 22nd on Wednesday? That doesn't make any sense.
Did I mess that up again? All right, that's
Yeah.
okay. This one is July 21st. I want to say July
Okay.
21st is the Tuesday with Yukika. What's on July
Yay.
22nd Wednesday, Warren?
July 22nd on Wednesday, we have Somi and SNSD Hyoyeon coming back. On July 24th on Friday? Weird date again, but that's cool because Kyuhyun and Lehigh are coming back as well. July 25th on Saturday, we have SSA Key 3, SoC 3 coming back with their music video for their already dropped song. And July 26th on Sunday, I believe. Oh man, you weird script to say, Douglas. July 26th on Sunday, we have Secrets, Song Ji-eun coming back. And on July 27th on Monday, we have Highlight, Doojun's solo debut as well as Kang Daniel's comeback. In other confirmed comeback news, we have Soyu on July 28th, April on July 29th, Eric Nam on July 30th, Jesse on July 30th, Rain's 홍은기 August 2nd, G Idol 여자 아이들 on August 3rd, One Team on August 4th, Victon's Han Sungwoo, oh man, solo debut on August 10th, Cherry Bullet sometime in August, ONF and sometime in August.
So there was also this weird teaser image of you know Old Man Psy from some of the music videos?
Yeah.
He's sitting in a chair with like a wrapped painting.
Yeah.
And
in
the
yeah.
And in the back was Crush, right?
Right, the Ohio
So
art.
people were confused because people thought it signaled a P Nation comeback, and then we got that Jessie was coming on the same day, the 30th, right?
Right.
But why wasn't she anywhere in the photo, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm still waiting on Psy to come back. This is what I'm basically getting at.
There is like a couple music videos that he filmed that hasn't released yet. Like there's a song called Celeb featured with like Suzy in the video, and he like showed it at his concerts before Rona, and like it was a dope song and a dope video. I'm like, why aren't you dropping it? When are we gonna see it? Psy, 재상 씨, why not? Please.
All right. I guess we're now at State of the Nation, right, guys?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Island, Anita. Island episode 4. Let's review what happened. We knew, based on what happened, that the Island kids, 4 were gonna get sent down, right?
Yes.
There was
At
the
least,
biggest
yeah.
oof I've ever seen in my life on this show, Warren. Let's put
Spoiler alert.
There was
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
There was Japanese on Japanese crime again.
Again?
Accidental.
Yo!
Not on purpose.
No, this was a team kill, bro. Let's talk about this.
My island boy, what you doing?
What happened was they did better, so only 4 kids had to get sent down this time, right?
Okay. Oh wow.
The kid who got the most points was K. He's a Japanese guy named K. He's probably the best dancer on the show, and I think he's a
Wow.
He might be.
Oh,
And my opinion is, I think he's a lock to make the group. I think that might be a take.
Anita, do you agree?
He's very, very good. I don't know if he's the best dancer out of everybody.
All right, but it's likely he's gonna make the final group. I think, or
He's
at least to the next show.
consistent, yeah.
Okay.
I think he
I like
and
that.
he and Heesung are like the most ready to go.
Oh, wow.
But regardless of how I feel, he got the highest points this last round, which means he got this weird immunity, right? This is what happened, Warren. After they said the 4 kids who were gonna get eliminated, right? Basically, they said, "Hey, Kay, you can choose to save someone."
He was doctor, basically, in Mafia.
In Mafia. They said, but this was after the fact. They said, these are the 4 kids who are gonna get sent down, right? And they said to him, you can choose to save one of these kids, but then the kid who got the 5th amount of votes is going to get sent down in his place, right?
Yeah, the second most voted or something like that.
Okay.
And the whole narrative with him was like, he's like, man, I really owe Taki, the young kid who I like, a lot because he helped me a lot and we're good and all that stuff, right?
Wait
They're
a
buddies,
minute.
they're friends.
Not again.
The 4 kids who were set to go down were Sunu, Taeyong, Yoonwon, and Jungwon, right?
Okay.
Yes.
He's like, I want to use my card on Jungwon to save him from going down to
Right.
ground. So
Okay.
Jungwon got saved. You know who got 5th place? Goddamn Taki got 5th place and got sent down.
Wait, did he know that Taki's gonna get sent down?
No.
It was, honestly, I feel like it had to have been, I don't know if there was any play.
If it was
on
rigged, it had to be there. Right?
Yes, because the drama that it ensued because of course. Well, okay. First of all, the build up
Imagine
to
the
it
guilt.
was that they had 2 hours to decide who they were gonna pick, right, to be voted out of the island, right? And this whole time, Kay is saying like, if Taki gets sent, I'm gonna save him. I'm gonna save him. Like, so he's basically saying that don't vote for Taki. And what happens? The top 4 is not Taki, but Jungwon, who was a pretty consistent participant as well, and I was kind of surprised that he got chosen. He gets voted off as the 4th person, and Kay is like, I think he deserves to stay. So I get the logic, right? I think he did the right thing by saving Jongwon, but he didn't know Taki was gonna be the next one to be voted out.
Here's the
Man,
thing. This is why he made a big oof, right? This is why. The Jongwon was the fourth kid, right? Who got
Yes.
eliminated. He only got 5 votes out of the 12 kids there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had to assume Taki probably has like at least 4 to 5 votes. He had to he should have thought that.
But see, it doesn't make sense in certain ways because this episode, before the elimination was started, before they had the chance to vote, they revealed the top 6 contestants' scores.
Yeah.
Right? So they were the producers, the trainers, they were able to score the top 6, and they revealed who these top 6 people were. Out of the top 6, one of them was already in the 4, which was Sonu, and it didn't make any sense to me either. And then Taki, who was also in the top 6, got voted off as 5th.
Yeah.
So I don't know how these people are voting.
There's politics. If it was me, I'd be like, let's do this fair. I'm gonna vote 4 kids from the bottom 6.
It made more sense that way. I guess you could justify it, but I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, but essentially Taki also had 5 votes, but because he had a higher score in the evaluation, he was saved initially. And then goddamn K messed it all up, and my boy Taki got sent out, and then K cried like a baby, which he deserves to do because he sent my boy Taki down. Boom.
I don't hate on K. I think he was trying to do the right thing.
What a oof. Big
but
oof.
it was unfortunate that it
It's-
turned out like that.
it just also feels like an anime plot where like
Right?
It
It's
was.
very
Like-
dramatic.
it's like there's only one person I care about. Oh, he's safe. Let me just play my cards however I want. Oh no, I just killed the one person I wanted to save.
Bro, there's this ajashi too, right? His name is Min Nam Kung, right? He's some kind of actor.
The
Is he-
narrator, you mean?
Is he a participant?
He
No,
acts as
he's an
narrator?
actor and he's the presenter. He's just there to make it more suspenseful for no reason. And it's
I'm
terrible. Yeah.
He has a very specific way of talking.
Oh my god, he's like, let's see if the island and the ground will compete with each other and see who reigns supreme. Like, he says things like that, and you're like, stop, what are you doing, dude?
The thing is that he kind of talks like that in real life too. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it feels kind of pretentious, to be honest. So so that happened. Kids got sent down. Kids got sent up.
like
The
a
kids who got
boofta.
sent up were Jay, Jake, Youngmin, and Youngbin, and I think a few of them were already in Island initially at the start of the show, right? So
3 of the 4, yeah.
I think everyone but Jake, right? I believe.
No, everyone
No?
but Kyungmin.
Okay, but all right, so the next round, Warren, this is what they're doing. Let me explain this.
next week.
Next, we'll start in this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're doing a competition, ground versus island, straight
Why
up.
would you do that?
Vocal and dance. So vocal, you're gonna send 2 kids from each side. They're gonna compete and they're gonna get scores. Then dance, you're gonna send 3 kids on each side. They're gonna get scores, and I think the highest total wins, right? So you only send 5 out of the 12 kids on each side, which is crazy.
Right.
If Island wins, no one gets sent down the ground.
No voting, no elimination.
Okay.
If ground wins, 6 kids are getting sent down.
Wait, what do you mean getting? Oh,
They're gonna switch 6 kids.
Isn't that like okay?
That's half.
That's wait, no, because only 5 people are participating though.
Yeah, but 6 kids are getting sent down.
That seems a little. It seems like the belly button's bigger than the belly kind of situation, but like
Never heard that before.
We saw the 2 vocal performances. So Gonu and Hisung did Butterfly from BTS. They got an 81. And that was the cliffhanger because we also saw the ground performance of Save Me by BTS, which was Sono and Daniel. They sang, well, I said they sang Save Me. They were also really good too. So I think it's going to be very close, at least this round.
I feel like it would be. I would laugh a lot if 6 kids sent down from island into ground.
I mean, to
Next
be
week.
honest, seeing how the show is going on,
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if it
I
happened.
feel like they're trying to make it as dramatic as possible. So
It's great. I'm
of course,
tuning in every week.
The more the storyline, the way that it would develop more, and there would be more good editing to be done, is if more people get sent down to ground. I do want to say though that for this new test that they have going on, and we just said the vocals, but the dancing that's gonna happen and how Ground has been handling it as opposed to Island, the Island group. I thought the Island group was pretty
Standard.
yeah, it was pretty not dramatic at all. I feel like it was very stable, and then they had this mentality in the Island where they were going to do backups like understudies, so if anything happens and the
or if
original
you suck, we'll just replace you and it'll be fine.
yes, we'll replace someone if we think it would be better in that way.
Yeah.
And they kind of tease that as well for the next episode. But I don't know. For this test, I'm honestly rooting for the Ground team.
I'm rooting for Ground, but I've realized that the kid Nikki from a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
He's like slippery like a snake, my friend. He's plotting.
What do you mean?
He's plotting at all times, Nikki.
Nicholas or Nikki, Japanese
Nikki.
Wait, he's the youngest kid here.
Yeah, but he did something weird again. He was basically like this one guy, Jeho, in this group who was chosen as one of the Ground representatives. He's like, he don't match with me. I want this other kid in it instead. And he was like petitioning to get him switched.
Well, okay. I want to point out what happened with Jeho because from the few clips that we got to see in the previous shows of him in Ground, I really feel like he has a good attitude as far as leading people. I don't think he's like trying to overwhelm others and is trying to be considerate of feelings as well as skill. And I think he really tried to like stand out and say like, yo, I have this background in choreography and dancing, so I really want to do this. And I don't know. I feel like Nikki had very different tactics as far as how they're going to work and how to lead. And I feel like Jeho handled it well because I think during this discussion where Nikki didn't quite agree that Jeho should be in the dance
he handled
group,
it really well, Jeho.
Jeho said like, okay, well, this is a team test, so let's leave it up to people to vote if Jeho or Hanbin, who was previously in the same unit or like group as Nikki. He did the jopping performance with him for
it was
the
Nikki
auditions.
and Nicholas, so that was the three.
Yep. Yeah. So it was three people that had already worked together. So I see the logic possibly where he's saying, yo, I already know these two guys. We've worked together. We trained. It might be easier to just repeat that. But that's not, how do I say it? I feel like some members of this show, of this group of participants, don't really seem to get how to work together with others. I feel like the more I watch the show, the more concerned I get because it really should be a team effort. And
Anita, no, you got it whole wrong. This show is about drama, Anita.
No, here's the thing about Nikki. I get that he's very talented, right?
He is.
And he wants to win at the end of the day. That's like his. You could tell out of anyone there, the Korean kids seem too pensive to like stir any waves or anything. Like there's all these segments where they're like, who wants to volunteer to do this part, or who else thinks like they want to try out, and the Korean kids, they're like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to like ruin the vibe or something.
I mean, like, come on.
And
These
you're
kids-
here. This is your one shot at life, like a K-pop life. You gotta
like,
go for it.
No, I think that's very natural because remember like what happened in the earlier produced seasons and like how speaking out became like a big taboo in later seasons of produced.
But it's different because they're literally asking who wants to try out, and some of the Korean kids are just sitting there, and in their interviews they're like, I think I could have made it, but I just decided not to.
Man, look. There's 2 more episodes left in this season. I'm interested to see how it wraps up.
My thing
interested
is
to
like,
see where this drama goes.
They gotta know. Like for me, if it was like my kid on there, I'd be so pissed if you didn't say something because I'm like, this is your one shot, right? You gotta be trying to win this show.
I mean, dude, some of these kids are young. They're like 16 years old. Like, come on.
But on the other hand, Nikki's like, I'm gonna win this show. Let me do this up.
Nikki's a crazy kid. He's 14 and doing this shit. Like, man. Like,
yeah, I agree. Like, there are limits where like you should be. I mean, I guess you are trying to be a public person, right? You're trying to be a personality. You're trying to debut. So you should try to get comfortable being out there and more competitive in that sense. I don't necessarily agree with the methods some people are taking though.
Nikki.
I don't really want to say Nikki because I feel like there's
other kids too
in Island and their methods of either I don't know, staying safe somehow to not be voted off. But I don't know. The more I watch the show, I feel like I'm rooting for the ground people to do better, just because it seems like the ground people have grown to just be more cautious of each other and try to be more friendly. And since they're not voting people off of ground, they're all just trying to rise up somehow, and they can't rise up unless they work together. So it makes it seem like, I don't know if that's the way the producers wanted to shape this show.
You sympathize with ground so much because you know that the island kids are good already.
Right. So I feel less attachment to the people in island because...
And then the ground kids are primarily going to be the ones who leave at the end, I would assume. Right?
Yeah, so it's a little confusing in that sense, because I hoped that it wasn't like that and everybody was just trying to do their best, but...
Nah, Nikki's over here plotting.
I'm not saying I dislike Nikki. I'm just saying that he's way more upfront than anyone else on this show, right? About voicing himself. And I know a lot of it gets lost in translation because he's Japanese, but like he's so upfront. He's like, we need to replace Jaeho with Hanbin.
Jesus.
And even Hanbin's like, I don't know. And he's like, don't worry, we got this. You got to be in this. And he's I don't have the confidence. He's like, don't worry, we'll get you confidence. You're doing it. That's literally the conversation they had.
There's good sides and bad sides to that, because I do feel like Hanbin was maybe lacking confidence at some point because he had been around and I don't know, he's talented, but the timing of it and then the way that
he pooed the bed, Anita, right?
What?
He pooed the bed during the evaluation when the mentors came in.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He was terrible.
I wouldn't say it showed that he was better than Jaeho, so it made it questionable to do the switch up at that point. But I don't know. The one thing I feel like the show is demonstrating is that there's methods of either being upfront or in thinking about the team and like having a discussion where it's like a team vote. And there's also methods where like you talk to different people individually and you say like, oh, I think this and this and this, and then they kind of like talking behind people's back, and then they get confirmation, and then another person agrees, and then they decide to talk to the one person that they want to, kind of like what happened with Hee-sung, right? In the second episode, where one person was not feeling great about the evaluation they had, and then talked to another person behind their back, and then eventually other people got together and then approached a single person. I don't know. I don't like that method.
It's not great, though. It's not great. Like, I know this is super entertaining, but like, for making a group, the show I don't think is working that great. Number one, because it's making you judge these kids and they're in a very high stress situation, because there's literally like, other than the mentors coming once an episode, there's no like outside influence or like mediation. These kids are basically left to do what they want, right?
Lord of the Flies all over again.
And then the issue is, because of the way the show is set up and everyone likes an underdog story, I feel like you want to sympathize with the ground kids and you want them to beat the island kids, even though the island kids on average are significantly better. So
yeah, they're pretty talented too, but
it's just a weird situation. But that's Island. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Warren, we're gonna give you time now. Show Me the Money season 9 was confirmed today.
Oh boy.
What do you have any feelings about that?
I mean, I think it's either gonna be their last ditch attempt to just milk out any leftover money as much as possible, or they're gonna try to open up a new era, I guess, which I'm not sure which they're gonna do. I am very concerned off of last season, season 8, which was very underwhelming, where they go with this season. But we'll see what happens. Some potential producers that have been mentioned is, Lupia Nafla of Make It Rain, or Code Kunst and Palo Alto were seen interacting on social media saying, hey, want to go and Show Me the Money again? And so we'll see what happens.
The sub line for this show is, who's the next young boss? Do you think there's going to be an age limit this year?
Dude, I hate that word, young boss. My
We're going to high school rapper.
I don't know. I have no clue. I think I am not sure at all why they added the word who is the new next young boss. I doubt it's because Doki used to call himself Young King, Young Boss all the time, and he's like not as active anymore. and it's just like a marketing thing, or maybe that's their whole new thing. Maybe it's gonna be about young kids only.
What if
which
they
I-
said like? What if they said you can't have appeared on the show more than like twice or something? It would.
Nobody's gonna be on the show anymore.
I know, right?
Oh.
I mean,
It's just you get the usual suspects every season.
see, here's the thing, right? I understand why they want the usual suspects because they're good,
Popular.
they're
They're
talented,
popular.
they're popular. I get that, but at the same time, we have seen the same faces over and over and over again. So people have been asking for, hey, why don't we make a season dedicated to just rookies? Except just watching rookies is not entertaining. So I mean, I think it's gonna be somewhat entertaining, but I'm not really excited, to be frank. Yeah.
What else have you
Yeah.
been doing? Not much.
I have one quick thing. I'm working on 2 music projects right now. One is because SojuTalk, we're reaching season 3 soon. Episode 100 is right around the corner. Making a couple some ideas for theme songs and whatnot. I originally had this grand project idea of like, let's have people vote on a new theme song and whatnot. And like, I don't now that I'm actually doing it, I don't think I'm not as confident as I was before, and I don't like them enough to do like a whole voting session thing. I don't know. But so that one is exciting. The other one is every year around this time of the year, I release like an instrumental track that strings together multiple tracks into one track, kind of looking back on my life for a year or so. So I am shamelessly plugging myself as not Warren, but as jet lag, if you will. And this song, this release is going to be interesting because obviously a lot has happened in the past year for me. A lot has happened for everyone. I graduated college, got a job. There was a point where I was like kind of hopeless, and like virus happened, and I was happy when I was working. Like there was lots of different emotions, lots of different devices. There will be some, if you've been there, I might say there's something related to jury in there, just a little bit.
Sneak it in.
Yeah, just sneaking it in. But if you listen hard enough, you'll hear it. I'm not putting it on Spotify or anything, but it'll be on my SoundCloud. It'll be on my YouTube. I will make sure that I share it with our social media and Discord when it drops. It'll be dropping on Thursday. Sometime on Thursday. I don't know.
Well, that's sooner than I thought.
There you go. Yeah, Thursday. It's 3 days away. I still need to.
Should we cover it for one of our songs next week?
I don't. I mean, we already have a lot of tracks for next week, so.
That's
Do you
true.
want me to give an honest review of your song?
I mean, sure, if you want.
I like
don't
your
know.
songs though; they're good.
Okay.
I don't know. That was kind of weird.
Anita, what have you been up to in the world of K-pop recently?
Just Island, right? You've been
Just
islanding.
pretty
out?
much
Just Island, nothing else?
Island. Yeah.
bro.
No.
They're just watching Island 24/7. Is that what
Hell
it is?
yeah!
Just reruns
No,
all
I
day?
mean
My
it
goodness.
only comes out like a new episode once a week, so it's not that bad. But yeah, mostly that. I've been trying to catch up with Hang Out With You as well
Oh yeah.
for the
Isn't
release.
that amazing TV?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing right now.
Yes. But I am trying to figure out like another drama because I've not been watching anything really as far as like dramas. Earlier in the year, I was really into Kingdom, and I can't believe we're gonna have to wait so long for another season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've been looking for new dramas. So
Well,
if you have
suggestions, let
Yeah.
Anita know in the comments
yeah,
section.
I've been looking at the variety channel on Discord trying to get into something.
I mean, if you're
So-
looking for variety, I've been telling you to watch The Great Escape for a while. Tetalchu.
Oh, yes.
I don't
might
think they
check it out
started. I don't think they ever subbed the episodes once they came back from the Rona.
Oh man, that's.
I don't think they did. But
I mean, there's also the New Journey to the West. I think that's one of the best varieties
really-
of the latter half of the decade.
also
They're
in terms
funny.
of variety, this week on Running Man, right?
Yeah.
Soyu, Jang Won Young, Yugi, Miju, Doyeon from Wakey Makey
Oh wow,
are all going to be making guest appearances on it.
that's a really cool lineup.
I have never seen an Eyes One. Like never thought an Eyes One kid would end up on Running Man. To be honest.
Right.
I feel like they would.
That's really interesting.
Popular.
That's actually really interesting because
It's SBS, right? So
I mean, not even that really. Like it's because I identified Ice One as like a fandom based group, which is pretty much a first in terms of girl groups. But them being more active on variety means that
Also-
they want to be general public friendly. So I don't know.
One Young's partner is Gwangsu, so it should be
So it's two tall people.
two really tall people.
Two really
Yes.
tall people. Oh man.
But I think that wraps up everything. This has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me this week. Next week a lot of songs like Yukika, Somi, Ihai, Sakdari, Kangdanyo. A lot of songs. But we'll see you guys next time when we review those songs and some other spicy news and stuff. Bye everyone.
Bye bye.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Based Mina, Jedi, Goku Mama, Jack, Jacob, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Snap Wilson, Tier. Thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erde, Malfiar, No Bias Nuna, Tuggles, V, and Wolf297.